how Regeneron grew into a cancer treatment giant. In 2026, Regeneron Pharmaceuticals looks like a giant of biotech, a company with a market value that sits alongside long-established names and a lineup of medicines that touch millions of lives. Full-year revenues for 2025 were $14.3 billion. Their labs sit at the cutting edge, producing therapies for everything from vision loss to allergies to heart disease. And increasingly, they've become a serious force in the fight against cancer. But that empire wasn't built on a straight climb. It rose from the wreckage of one of the company's most devastating setbacks, a failure so big it nearly erased Regeneron in the late 1990s. This is the story of how a single catastrophic flop became the lesson that let Regeneron build a repeatable, powerful engine for drug discovery. It's the story of founders who had to break their own dream, regroup, and turn their company into something else entirely. Section 1. The Noble Dream. Regeneron was founded on a cold January day in 1988, and its name captured the ambition: regeneration. Founders Leonard Schleifer and George Yancopoulos were a physician-scientist duo chasing a lofty goal: repairing damaged nerves with neurotrophic factors, proteins that could, in theory, help regenerate neurons and treat devastating conditions like ALS. They weren't modest about it. The work promised Nobel-level science. Investors noticed. The company went public in 1991 and raised a substantial war chest. Through the early 90s, they published papers, pushed candidates through the clinic, and by 1997 they were staring at a phase 3 trial, the make-or-break moment. The company's identity, reputation, and future all hinged on that one program, and then the trial failed. The phase 3 readout in 1997 didn't meet its primary endpoint. The drug, nearly a decade of work, flopped. For a small biotech, a late-stage failure can be fatal. Investors pull back, the science looks shaky, and the pressure is relentless. Regeneron teetered. The dream of curing neurological disease felt shattered. It was here that P. Roy Vagelos, the former Merck CEO who joined Regeneron's board, offered blunt counsel. The biology of neuroregeneration was still too uncertain to stake the company on. He urged a pivot, not away from ambition, but toward areas where the underlying biology was clearer and targets could be hit with precision. That advice wasn't painless. Schleifer and Yancopoulos were being asked to abandon the mission that had launched the company, but it was a survival move. The failure became an inflection point, forcing them to rethink what Regeneron could and should be. Regeneron didn't just pick a new disease, they reinvented how they discovered drugs. Betting everything on one hypothesis had nearly killed them, so they built a better discovery machine instead. Enter the VelociSuite. It began with VelociGene, a faster way to generate genetically modified models to study gene function. Then came VelociMouse, mice engineered to produce human antibodies. That change was huge. It let Regeneron generate fully human antibodies directly in animals, reducing one of the biggest translational hurdles for antibody drugs. VelociMune tied it together, using those mice to quickly discover and validate thousands of antibody candidates. The suite became a discovery assembly line, a system that turned ideas into testable drug candidates much faster than before. After their early failure, they vowed never again to be a one-trick company. The new plan was to be a platform, scalable, repeatable, and broad. A powerful platform still needs fuel. By the mid-2000s, Regeneron had the tech, but not the deep pockets to run it flat out. Big Pharma did. In 2007, Regeneron struck a major collaboration with Sanofi, a deal that included upfront payments and multi-year R&D commitments, giving Regeneron the resources and validation it desperately needed. That partnership was transformational. It gave Regeneron the financial runway to scale the VelociSuite and pursue many targets at once, while preserving control over their science and, in many cases, sharing in the rewards. The alliance didn't just keep them alive, it let them accelerate. The strategy worked. In 2008, Regeneron won its first FDA approval for Arcalyst, a treatment for a rare inflammatory disease. It proved the approach, but the real breakthrough arrived in 2011. Eylea, a therapy for wet age-related macular degeneration. Eylea was a home run. It became a major revenue driver and finally delivered the financial independence the founders had chased. More wins followed. The collaboration with Sanofi helped produce Dupixent, approved in 2017 for eczema and later for asthma and other allergic conditions. Dupixent grew into a global success and a major contributor to Regeneron's cash flow. Between Eylea and Dupixent, Regeneron shifted from survival mode to having the resources to go after the biggest prizes in medicine. CTA. If you're fascinated by how scientific vision and smart strategy turn into world-changing companies, subscribe. We dig into stories like this every week. With a validated platform and strong finances, Regeneron turned toward oncology. The Velocity Suite was well suited to immuno-oncology, designing antibodies that could mobilize the immune system against tumors. They entered the space with Zoltrap in 2012 for metastatic colorectal cancer, and later introduced Libtayo, a PD-1 inhibitor co-developed with Sanofi. Libtayo joined the class of drugs that changed cancer care and showed steady sales growth. For example, Q4 2025 sales were reported at $425 million, up 16% year-over-year. Regeneron later moved to secure full worldwide rights to the drug, signaling a clear intent to build its own oncology franchise. Libtayo became a major part of their cancer story and a platform for further ambition. Regeneron began developing next-generation approaches like bispecific antibodies, which can bring immune cells into direct contact with cancer cells. Oncology became a core pillar. Bolstered by cash from Eylea and Dupixent, Regeneron started to buy as well as build. They acquired Checkmate Pharmaceuticals to gain promising immuno-oncology assets and later obtained 2seventy Bio's cell therapy pipeline and talent, launching Regeneron Cell Medicines and entering the CAR-T and cell-based therapy arena. Those moves let them add expertise and programs across multiple therapeutic modalities. Today, Regeneron is no longer a company that nearly died chasing one idea. It's a diversified powerhouse, using success in ophthalmology and immunology to fund a systematic push into bispecifics, cell therapies, and other advanced cancer approaches. The company that once chased a single neurological dream is now assembling an arsenal for a multi-front fight against cancer. Conclusion: Regeneron's rise is one of biotech's great comeback stories. From the brink after a devastating late-stage failure, the company rebuilt itself into a major pharmaceutical player. Full-year revenues reached $14.3 billion in 2025, and Regeneron now routinely returns value to shareholders while investing heavily in future medicines. That 1997 failure didn't end them. It forced a hard reset. Schleifer and Yancopoulos traded a single romantic mission for a disciplined system. Build a reliable way to find many good ideas rather than betting the company on one. The Velocity Suite became that system. It has delivered drugs that restored sight, tamed allergic disease, and now helps power an ambitious push into cancer. Sometimes the most painful failures plant the seeds for the biggest wins.